Good morning from Panhandle Outdoors with Winston Chester. Panhandle Outdoors, your source for fishing, hunting, and information for folks who enjoy the great outdoors. Now sit back, relax. It's Panhandle Outdoors.
Good morning, folks. Welcome to Panhandle Outdoors. I'm Winston Chester. I'm glad you're here this Monday morning. We're getting our week started off right. Always having good stuff to bring on Panhandle Outdoors. We'll bring you good news, nothing bad and all. We're always just doing good things, and hope you enjoy as much as I enjoy doing it for you. Let's get started with our weather, brought to us by Haney Technical Center at number 767-5500. It's the weather now. We're talking about the temperature. It really hadn't been way up in close to 98 and 100 like they have it out west and in the Midwest and all. But it is the same old thing we're talking about. It's the humidity. So, when it's 88 or 91 here with this humidity we have, this is what knocks you out. So, really today is only getting up to 88, and to low tonight will be 76. But again, just with the rain we have off and on, that humidity starts coming up. That's what we have to always be aware of and all. On the moon phases, I don't have the chart with me. I'll get it to you soon. But the moon, of course, is waning. We had our full moon last Wednesday night, and a beautiful full moon. Hope you had a chance to see it. But we're waning now on the moon phases. And our tide chart, we'll have it out. But anyway, the low tide, we're talking about a high tide this morning at 5:02 a.m. and a low tide at 7:27. That's going to be I've got a good 1.8 foot tidal range. I'll get those graphics to you soon. But one thing I want to bring up, we have coming up soon now, the first weekend of August now will be the Sea Quarters, the 9th annual Sea Quarters Marina Kingfish Shootout. I want to mention that in this segment here because it is such a fun tournament to go, and the prize money is set up. First place is $5,000, second is $4,000, third is $3,000, and on down the line they're going to pay out for 10 places. But look at the bottom there. The proceeds go to the Leukemia Research Foundation. So far they've donated $630,000. Mr. Crowder and his family and all has been so good about this. And this is one we won last year now. We're excited about it. We're going back down there and looking forward to having a good time. But it is so much, it's not really the money win, it's just the camaraderie and the fun you have with fishing with the guys that you fish with, and going back to the weigh-in and just spending time with fishermen and hearing their stories and telling your stories. And just the whole weekend is just so much fun. It's brought to us by Sea Quarters, one of our big sponsors. I encourage you to be a part of it. And in any of these tournaments where the proceeds go to such a good cause as as something like that, it's just awesome. So I want to encourage you to be a part of it, and we'll talk more about it later. I just want to go ahead and mention it now. We're going to take a break. We'll come back with a very special guest. You're going to enjoy this guest we have this morning, and I have a lot of good information for you. So we're going to take this first break, and we'll be right back.
Your vision is precious. If an emergency arises, you don't want to be sitting in a hospital waiting room. Accidents and injuries can happen outside of your workday. That's why our team of physicians provide emergency eye care to our patients anytime, day or night. You can count on your local experts in eye care to be there for you whenever you need us. The Eye Center of North Florida.
9 doctors, 1 vision, yours.
At Panhandle Educators, we offer full-service banking.
We're 5-star rated.
A safe place for your money.
Find us anytime, anywhere.
Or come see us on Highway 77 north of the mall. On the east side, across from Rutherford High School.
Come see us at the beach on R. Jackson Boulevard.
We're here in Southport on Highway 77.
Live or work in Bay, Holmes, Jackson, or Washington County? You can be a member.
Join us. We'll take care of you.
Panhandle Educators Federal Credit Union.
Come join the Panhandle Outdoors team. Beat the rush and stock up on our team shirts and hats in a wide variety of colors and sizes. For your convenience, we offer a Panhandle Outdoors shop at panhandleoutdoors.net. Simply visit our website and click shop.
You can also check out our selection at Sunjammers Water Sports on Panama City Beach. Come join the Panhandle Outdoors team.
We are so lucky to live in North Florida. We have some of the best fresh and saltwater fishing in the world. My biggest problem is not catching fish, but trying to decide what kind of fish I want to catch. No matter what I'm after, I always stop at Sunjammers Water Sports first. They have just what I need: rods and reels, line, tackle, and most important, live bait. Yes, sir, we sure are lucky.
Welcome back, and a special welcome to Danny Grizzard.
Hey, good morning.
All right, Danny. He's a familiar face. He's been on the show before. Danny worked a long time at PCMI, where he's a dive instructor out of Gulf Coast and does all kind of things. He's been an outdoorsman your whole life, I guess.
Oh man, grew up in Alabama, so what can I say?
Well, that's right. I've known Danny a long time. One time my son worked for him down there, and we just always gone on great. And always when we see each other, we just start talking and can't get away from each other. So.
Yeah, I think the last time we bumped into each other was at the game dinner at the church out there.
That's right. Right.
Because Chip was with you.
Yeah, we had a great
and
time.
David was one of the many that went through your program at Mosley.
Yeah.
So David graduated.
Yeah, so it's been a great relationship. And what brings you on this morning? We got so much to talk about.
Well, we got a pretty cool thing going on. The state of Florida's archaeology program came to us about a year and a half ago and said, look, with all this BP stuff, we've been thinking about the divers because they always help us when we do this historical thing. So, we did the lumber boat, we did the tarpon, they're underwater preserves. And Dr. Roger Smith and the guys at State Archaeology Program came to us and said, we want to do a dive trail website that can channel people off the internet back to the dive shops in Panama City. And they showed us a cool little passport that they did down in the Keys, and we said, hey, what's it going to cost? And when he said nothing, what do you think we did?
That's right up our alley.
That's right. So all the dive shops jumped on board, and we started putting this thing together. And it's a website that went active in the last 2 weeks. It's Florida Panhandle DiveTrail.com.
Okay.
And it runs wrecks, and it's got video and shots and history of underwater wrecks from Mexico Beach all the way to Pensacola, Florida. And of course, we have some of the best, but I'm a little prejudiced. So 5 of the 12 are here in Panama City. Interesting story, we put dive shop guys in the room, we weighted their votes, and we let them all vote, and we picked the 5 most popular. And those 5 are on this website. There's 5 to 10 snapshots that people can see of either sailing when the ships were underway or underwater the day they were sunk. And there's a really cool one on the Strength. It's a side scan sonar shot. And if you guys have never seen that, you can see how it looks. But for the fishermen, and I know for us, fishing and diving brings in millions of dollars to this area every year. And only about 10 or 12% of it's diving. Now, I don't like that. I wish we carried more weight.
Well, that's still a chunk right there,
But we do the same thing, and all the same things are important to us. But for you guys that, you have friends that fish that don't dive, and to be able to hold up something and say, this is what we've been fishing on, and look at it, it really make a lot of difference. And to see the video, I think is really cool. So that's what we're excited about. And the way they're going to do it, Winston, it's a passport. And everybody used to say that you about needed a passport to come across the border into Alabama, and I thought that was okay after I moved, but not before. And so this passport is like a logbook that divers use, and it has a little bit about each one of those 12 wrecks, and then a place for you to log your dive and get it verified with a sticker that will come from the dive shop.
First, Jeff, and then I'll go to show you this sort. Okay, this is This is your sticker here, Florida Panhandle Shipwreck Trail.
Part of plan, and the website will come across the screen here. It'll say Florida Panhandle DiveTrail.com, and you go into your local dive shops. And I know Miss Joanne's guys, Divers Den, they're one of your sponsors. And, but all the stores in Panama City have it, and you pick this up for $5, and then they've got a validation stamp. And when you do all 12 of these wrecks, so this is kind of trying to help everybody. If you do all five in Panama City, the local shops are going to have something special. And if you do the whole trail, you're going to be able to send your validation in to the guys at the archaeology department. You're going to get a certification card that you've dove the Florida Panhandle Dive Trail.
Cool.
I think it's cool. It's like they do it in the Keys, except better.
Yeah.
Better. No more driving. Come up here and do it.
I'm telling you, that's really cool. And you get stamped, you get your little. Each one of these got a little. I will give you an example of this. Okay, so you go to this is the
open to one of ours, not one.
You find one of ours.
Find one of ours. Look
Some
at there.
local folks.
Yeah, there you go. Black Bart has there's thousands and thousands.
Everybody's fishing Black Bart. Okay,
does everybody know the Black Bart's 20th birthday underwater is next week?
No kidding. The Black Bart right there. So that's That would be the dive, and then you go right here, then you get it checked off, it gets stamped on it, I guess.
All right. Well, you get a little validation sticker from the store, and you can show that over there on the screen.
You get this little validation sticker right here.
And one of those goes on your logbook.
Right over there.
And
it's cool.
And you pick this passport up from your local dive shop for $5. And the $5 is going back to the archaeology department. And when these first 4,000 are gone, that money's going to be there to print them again so that we'll have them again.
Sounds
and
good.
Really good. The bonus for everybody right now is that for anybody that gets them from our stores in the next couple of weeks before the first batch is sold out, they get one of those decals that you were showing. So that's a nice little window decal to show that the trail's there. Wow. And our wrecks are the Black Bart, the Strength, the Akakeek, the Chippewa, which is two of the Navy tugs that went out there, and the Strength was a Navy tug. And then one we call the FAMI tugs. To you, that's two of those old Sherman tugs that was over there. But my little group's FAMI, Florida Aquatic and Marine. And we found out they were scrapping them, and we talked them into letting us take two of them offshore. So
wow. I know historically you've had a great deal to do with diving in the community and all. We're going to take this break now. We're going to come back and talk a little bit more about this. We'll be right back.
Clay O'Neill's Land Clearing. When you need land clearing, pond digging, road building, or any type of excavation, Clay O'Neill's Land Clearing is fully equipped to handle it. If the job is big or small, he covers it all, serving the Florida Panhandle from Madison County to Escambia County. He's just a phone call away. Hey, thanks, Clay, for another job well done.
Harold Milling Company, rough and tough dog food. Harold Milling Company builds it. They build hog feed. They build dairy feed. They make chicken feed. They have specialty feeds for rabbits. If you got a worm farm, grandmother used to have a worm farm. Look at the Harold Milling Company. You want to go down and get you, the dog's not running anymore. That's all over with. You want to get that 16% and drop down from the 26% protein. You don't want over to get fat. Harold Milling Company, you can buy at almost any feed store in the Panama City area.
Come join the Panhandle Outdoors team. Beat the rush and stock up on our team shirts and hats in a wide variety of colors and sizes. For your convenience, we offer a Panhandle Outdoors shop at panhandleoutdoors.net. Simply visit our website and click shop.
You can also check out our selection at Sunjammers Water Sports on Panama City Beach. Come join the Panhandle Outdoors team. When you stop by Blue Water Outriggers, you will find everything for your outdoor adventure. Stock up on all your favorite brands and shop for some of the latest outdoor gear and accessories. You can also shop online and have your orders delivered straight to your home. Our flagship store is nestled right off of Highway 98 in the Port City Shopping Center, just steps away from the Port St. John Marina. You will love our selection, our prices, and our friendly service.
All right, welcome back. Sitting with Dan and Grizzard having a great show this morning. Enjoy all this stuff, but we're talking about diving and all. But you brought a lot of pictures. This picture sort of fell out. So
yeah, he's digging through my pictures.
We're going to show a hunting picture, and your son David. This is a great picture. Tell us about this. I know this is right north of Southport.
Yeah. Then that little hunting preserve right there by the lions and the tigers and the wolves. Yeah, that's southwestern Colorado. You know, people save all year long to put their money together and come to Panama City.
That's right.
To do something that they look forward to all year long. And for us, what do? Well, one of the things we like to do is go see the mountains and walk through the mountains and interact with wildlife.
So y'all go with a yearly hunting trip?
Well, we did. Yeah. You know, we're in construction, so we don't do a lot of things. We used to say that we went to Colorado in the winter and the Caribbean in the summer. Now we do Youngstown and Mexico Beach.
I understand.
That's okay.
You stayed around Panhandle.
We still have fun with it.
Well, that was a nice book.
But saving your money and something like that, and that's hunting the way I thought it would be when I was a little kid, where you walk and walk and walk, and you sneak and you sneak and you sneak, and if you're lucky, you get within 300 yards or something, and truly blessed. We talk about your drive around here early in the morning, those mountains. I mean, it's cool. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to dump that one on you, but back to the diving thing.
Okay.
Okay, so we talked about the trail. Another interesting thing that we've got going on with the diving community is that this and I'm sure you've seen it, is a plastic slate. It's in tackle shops and dive shops all over. This particular one is the Oriskany.
This is a big one over in Pensacola. This is one of
it's the carrier that John McCain was flying off of when he got shot down and became a POW. But there's a company out of Canada that does 3D imaging, and if you can come up with a sponsorship and make it happen, they're doing this for dive sites all over the world, and we're lucky now because now we're putting this together for our wrecks.
This is it sitting down there?
That's it sitting down there before it settled 15 to 16 feet 3 years ago.
Okay.
So it has the depths on it.
Okay.
And what we're doing is this is the Black Bart.
Okay.
And we mentioned the Black Bart's coming up on its 20th birthday. I think the middle of the month, probably 15th, 16th of July.
Okay.
And we're going to have in the local dive shops within the next 2 weeks an underwater slate similar to the one we just showed you of the Black Bart. So again, it's going to have the depths. It'll show which way it's laying. For our fishermen friends who don't dive, they're going to have a visual reference of what this thing looks like instead of that spike on their bottom machine. And we think it's going to really be a cool collector thing that our visitors will take home with them. It'll be generate something for the dive shops.
You know, Dan, we're always talking about freshwater, wherever, saltwater, offshore, inshore, structure. We always talk about structure. And what is so neat in the history of diving, they've always been able to get around structure. As a diver and fisherman, always been looking for structure. Now, you know, over the years we put things in the water and all, and I know you see it, how they just sort of boom.
Well, it's been my community service project since I moved here in '73. You know, I told you I came down from Alabama, and I took a bunch of tires out when I was working with those kids at the alternative school, dumped them overboard, took pictures, put it in the newspaper for press, and I was all excited about it until the Coast Guard came down the next day and wanted to see my permit. So I learned how to go through that process, and I've been involved in, well, the Gray Ghost in 1978 was the first one I ever sunk.
Yep.
We did it for $150.
Oh, my goodness.
The Black Bart cost $50. The Red Sea 3 years ago cost $75. The Oriskany cost $1.4 million.
That's incredible.
I mean, the rules and regulations are harder and harder, but it is the structure for us here in the Gulf that makes a difference for our fish. And then the big things like this, because my love is diving, is what brings divers. I mean, fishermen, they like those reef balls, and they're great for nurseries and habitats, and we get them all over out there in the smaller structure. The chicken coops, they're wonderful. I've seen fish and lobster all over those things. But if you want to interest somebody who's just learned to dive, you don't say, let's go dive a piece of bridge rubble. You say, let's go dive a ship.
Yeah.
And that's what the Black Bart is.
Yeah.
And
you know, I know you've seen too, we've had these storms, you know, the hurricanes come through over the years and all, and the big storms, they don't really, on these big structure, they don't really, I know in chicken coops and all, I always talk to these guys who put out chicken coops and they go back out there and can't find them because they've been tumbled around and all. But these big structures, they sort of anchored down pretty well.
Well, two things. The smart guys are anchoring their coops now.
Okay.
Or they'll put scope on it so they'll know which way it rolled after that weather coming in.
Yeah.
And the answer to your question on the big structures is yes and no. If we put a wreck down like the FAMI tugs, we had a storm a month after they went down. And we put them together with the intentions of them being bowed astern, and the weather changed the next day, so it was T-boned 30 feet apart.
Okay.
But the storm came from the southeast, and it started a surge over the front one, and it walked that second tug 40 feet up to where it's laying across a 100-foot tugboat.
Oh, my goodness.
Now, the Red Sea we anchored, those two were anchored together, and they still moved. Black Bart moved about 50 feet in a storm 3 months after it went down. But for the most part, if we can get them down the right time of the year, get them on the bottom, they're secured the way they should be, then the big structures aren't going to go anyway. But a 757 completely tore apart in South Florida. They've had wrecks move. So, I mean, Mother Nature, she don't play.
Yeah, that's true.
Yes, Mother Nature don't play.
Okay, now on this picture right here, this is another shot.
Now that's what the underwater slate will look like for the Black Bart.
Okay.
And it'll be front and back, and it'll be a different look on each side, but it'll have the depths of the bow. Like the top of that wheelhouse is at like 43 or 44 feet.
Okay.
So, I mean...
That's not very far down.
That's not very far down at all. And that's why that's the bait store a lot of times early in the morning for those fishing boats on their way out. It's straight out the pass. I mean, they stop there at the bait shop. If they didn't catch a bait in their choker traps, they'll pick up a little live bait. And plus, customers like to catch anything, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they enjoy just dropping down right there.
Being able to be involved in the artificial reefs like I've been lucky enough to collect pictures for most of the stuff that's off here since '78, and actually even some videos. So But this is something that you and I were talking about.
This is interesting because I went to Mobile and got to meet some people over there, spend some time with outdoorsmen over there, and some of them, they were divers and also big fishermen. They like to do it all, and they're from Mobile and all. They were talking about, Alabama's got such a small coastline, but how their habitat was so strong because they were able to go up to Louisville, Kentucky years ago and buy a bunch of Army tanks. And they just sort of strung them out outside of Mobile Bay all the way out there. There's just a string of them. And then I saw this picture you had right here of this Army tank.
Well,
so
what happened on these, and I'd have to look to come up with the exact date. All I know is that rough when they got to Panama City is 130-something of them were railed down from the Army depot in Anniston, Alabama. And it's Vietnam-era tanks. I don't remember the number. I want to say they're 48s. But they were put on barges in Mobile, and then there were the Florida tanks. So that's Pensacola, Okaloosa, Walton, and Panama City. Now, unfortunately, it was done on a reserve unit, offshore reserve unit did it, so they're supposed to just be there for 2 weeks, right? And the weather got bad, and they got weathered. By the time they got to us, it was really rough.
Yeah.
We got 13 of them, and I was offshore dropping the buoys and spotting them. I couldn't talk the tugboat into stopping. He was afraid he'd foul a line. So I only could get him to slow down and disengage one engine. And they were set up with a front end loader with a safety cable on it so it couldn't ride off. And that front end loader would push him off.
Yeah.
But he would hit the brake before he got ours to the edge because it was so rough and the barge was rocking. And you see that one, that's a beautiful picture of one. It looks like it's going to go down perfect.
Yeah,
but unfortunately, that turn's kind of heavy. So it would teeter on the edge. I watched all 13 of them, and each time I was going, oh.
So you were snapping, you were taking these pictures?
Well, I took these pictures from Mike Rohan's little boat. He let me borrow it that day. My boat was down, and I took these pictures when they went down, and all 13 of ours are upside down.
So that one flipped over?
Yeah.
So
it went down, then it turned, then it flipped. All 13 of them did it, and there's only 3 of them close enough together that we can really call them one dive. The rest of them are spotted out. But for a fisherman who goes out where the tanks are, that's better than a chicken coop because it ain't going to roll away when the storm comes. Turn it down in the sand.
Yeah.
And so it's going to be there, and it's one big spot, and I've got a lot of just what the scientists call it anecdotal evidence. Me and you call it fishermen and divers telling stories. But lobster, grouper, snapper, just about anything you can imagine.
How deep are those?
Just a grunt under 100 feet.
Okay, that's good depth right there.
Yeah, it's a good depth. And they're I want to say, well, I have to look, but somewhere in the vicinity of stage 1.
All right. Okay.
So not too far offshore.
Let's take our final break. We'll get a lot more good information for you, so we'll be right back.
When you think of a successful hunting season, 2 things come to mind: Browning and C&G Sporting Goods. Browning is the best there is, and C&G Sporting Goods is your factory direct, full-line Browning dealer. C&G stocks Browning guns, camo, knives, scopes, gun safes, bows, and much more, including hunting and fishing license. Look over the new Browning BAR camo short frame and X-Bolt rifles. Why pay good money for anything less than a Browning? Browning and C&G, the best there is. Home of the experts.
Are you still waiting to do something with your IRA, 401k, annuities, or other investments?
My dad has an economics degree from Vanderbilt University, and he helped me with my homework. A lot of people call themselves financial planners, but my dad passed a board exam to be a certified financial planner. He's very easy to talk to, and he spends a lot of time with me.
To my existing clients, thank you for your friendship and loyalty through these uncertain times, and to everyone else, don't wait until it's too late. Call me today, and let's see if I can help.
Bill Kramer needs to buy vehicles outright or take them in on trade. Our pre-owned business is great, and we need your vehicle this week to supplement our pre-owned inventory. Get a 15-minute no-obligation appraisal. We're buying Fords, Chevys, and Cadillacs. We're buying Toyotas, Nissans, BMWs, and more. You name it, we'll buy it. All years, all models. Nothing too old, nothing too new. Bill Kramer is buying them all, and we will not be outbid at Bill Kramer's Chevrolet Cadillac Buick GMC.
Sunrise to sunset. A walk through nature takes you on a journey of Florida's Emerald Coast. You'll encounter the wildlife, birds, lighthouses, indigenous to the beautiful land and seascapes of Florida. Set to the sounds of nature and enhanced with easy listening music. Only $14.95 plus $4.95 shipping and handling. NatureWalkDVD.com or send check or money order to the address on the screen. A walk through nature. Visually stunning.
Welcome back. Hope you're getting ready for a good day of work today, a good day, whatever you're going to be doing. So we're here at Panhandle Outdoors. We bring it to you, bringing our A game every day. I'm here with Dan Grizzard.
Hey, good morning.
All right, now we're going to, on this segment, let's take a look at our Express Lane Fishing Game Forecast. We're looking at our times at 5:21 to 7:21. I mean, you can jump out there right now and get some action on the water, or this afternoon, 5:43 to 7:43. So actually, both of these times fall in daylight hours, so you can take advantage of that. Danny, we're talking about artificial reefs. We're talking about that. Well, tell us a little bit about artificial reefs.
Well, obviously, if you and I could pull that magic button and drain all the water just for 30 minutes for me and you to run out there in our four-wheel drive and get our numbers, we've seen nothing but sand in a lot of places off our coast. And that's the way we describe it to people. It's like a desert. And for us up here, until we get to some of that hard bottom at the Warsaw Hole or we head to the west, there's no place for fish to hide. And if a little fish can't hide, what's going to happen to him?
Bye-bye.
He's going to get bit by a big fish, and he's just going to go away, and they got to have habitat. So an artificial reef is just what the term says. It's not like staghorn and elkhorn. It's any structure, from a torpedoed British tanker that was put down in 1940s, all the way up to the Red Sea that we put down 3 years ago. Anything that we can put out there. And the higher the profile, the faster that it'll bring stuff in, especially in the summertime, because if you're out there running around and you're heading to your next spot, but you see bait just killing it somewhere off to your side, what are you going to do?
Yeah,
you're going to slow down and look. So
yeah, well, we talk about the evolution of it too. I know Richard Hawley, I used to talk a long time ago, the late Richard Hawley. We always used to have a kick talking about when they first started, these captains first started putting out artificial reefs and all. They were just taking a barge and pushing off these old cars. And they're rust out, and in 2-3 years they'll be rusted out and gone. But evolution is going in now. But you were saying y'all started off with some buses and all.
Well, buses, and then we had
a steering wheel.
We had a banding machine from the Goodyear Tire and Rubber Company because they're trying to get rid of tires. I probably, back when it was still okay and we thought it was a good thing, helped put 1 million tires from Bay County Recycling offshore of our waters. 5 years ago, I took a group of scientists out to try to do some research on them, and we found 106.
Really?
Because they worked their way down into the sand.
Yeah.
And you're talking about Richard Hawley. I was with, I just had Joe Knowles' grandson in a scuba class, and I was talking to his son Billy, and you know what the Chickasaw is out there by the Bellboy. You know the story to that one, right?
Tell me about
Chickasaw was headed offshore behind Joe Knowles' boat late one night, going to a deep water spot so Joe could catch some snapper and grouper. And the deckhand didn't put gas in the pump, and all of a sudden the boat's going slower and slower and slower about the bell buoy, and he looks around, the guy's jumping up and yelling, his radio don't work, and he's trying to get him to pick it up, and it sinks, what, a quarter of a mile, a half a mile from the bell buoy. So, you know, always got to be careful with that. And then your guys that started doing the personal reefs, whether it was using the mister offshore and taking out chicken coops, they would do them singles because they wouldn't make that big show of bait.
Right.
Because if I put a bunch of them out there and they're 20 foot high and 60 feet of water, and the bait get on them, it's going to kill the water on a flat day. So those guys are investing in their future by putting out those coops, and we were able to do that.
Yeah, Dan, I was sitting talking about running out of time, buddy. We got to come back and finish up.
I didn't mean to use all your time.
Okay. Hey, thank y'all for watching. You have a great day, and we'll see y'all tomorrow. And do something good for somebody. God bless.
Thanks for joining us for Panhandle Outdoors with Winston Chester. Panhandle Outdoors features hunting, fishing, and other activities and information to help you enjoy the great outdoors. Join us next time for Panhandle Outdoors.